Today on the Marvel Cinematic Universe podcast, we are discussing Loki Season 2, Episode 3, 1893. Sorry, let me do it in the real voice. 1893! All that and more right after this ad we have some amount of control over.
Welcome to the Marvel Cinematic Universe podcast. My name is Matthew Carroll.
And I am Jeff Randall.
And I'm Ashley Coffin.
And we are traveling back to the 1800s to talk about Victor Timely and his amazing machines. We've seen episode 3 of Loki. Spoiler alert, spoiler alert. What did you guys think about episode 3?
It was timely.
Swear.
Sorry.
I agree. It was timely. What does that mean?
It was a period piece, and it was awesome.
It was awesome. We went through a couple different times. I love the fashion of like 18, like 63 to 1901. Perfect.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it's all about awesome. The bowler hats and handlebar mustaches.
Corsets are coming back. I'm like, okay, good. That's first, and then the 3-piece pocket watch, bowler hats, like bring it all back. The vests.
Love a good vest and pocket watch combo.
Very exciting.
Very exciting. I thought this episode was a lot of fun. It raised me a lot of questions for me. Like, is Victor Timely the original, like, Kang? Is he the variant? Does he always start there? We've talked a lot about how Kang in the comics, like, rebuilds himself from the beginning, like, making himself more powerful. So in this version, is that the original origins of Kang, like 1800s Chicago? Is that, like, where he comes from?
Is it a different one, just, like, trying again?
That's actually a question that I had. I was like, wait a minute, I remember differently. I went back and watched that section of the last episode of season 1. He said that a version of me existed in the 31st century on Earth. And I was like, hold up, 31st century, 1800s, something's not matching here.
Yeah.
So I don't know what they're going for. I don't know if they're just like, let's retcon this. I don't know if like he's just dropping himself at different points in time. Who knows? Not me.
He Who Remains just seems like he already had a plan in place for when he stopped remaining.
Yeah.
He who no longer remains.
But still is in control.
Remains decomposing in that chair.
Yeah, why have we still been calling him He Who Remains? It's definitely not his title anymore.
It's Miss Minutes' fault. That sneaky, sassy little minx.
I know, right? The jealousy between her and Ravonna.
We will get into that. I'm not even sure if I'm ready to get into the layers of single white clock female that we were getting into there. But she was like, I know you didn't like Ravonna more than you liked me. I was like, oh
my goodness.
What is she going to do to him?
Woman.
Single
Make
clock
me a
female.
body.
I like that a lot.
Nothing good has ever come from AI getting a body.
Yeah,
Ever.
It's like Blade Runner 2049, right? With Gosling. She's like, if you just made me a body, I'm like, oh my God.
It's never been a good thing. Terminator, right?
It's never
Skynet had tons of bodies.
Mm-hmm.
But then if they're in love with you, it turns it up a notch.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've seen
gets
Ex Machina.
Weird.
Yes, she's like, I'll kill all of your friends and family.
Y'all better run.
I gotta say, that voice, this episode was awesome. Tara Strong, just like really bringing it. Like, we got to hear her in more context and a little more expressive because she's actually being herself as Miss Minutes instead of like answering questions or just being the AI assistant. She's like doing her own thing and having her own weird jealous affection for He Who Remains.
They're like grooming him since he was a child.
Yes.
That's
and then
a little creepy.
Grooming to becoming the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man on them. She was like, rah!
Yeah. Y'all better
We saw
run.
all of the faces of Miss Minutes in this episode.
It was great.
Miss Minutes hanging out in like the first timeline when Ravonna lands there and Miss Minutes is like peeking around that corner cracked me up. Just like her
so
peeking around going, hey, over here.
I love that Ravonna was like, you need to hide. You don't exactly fit in. She changes herself to look like a cartoon clock, like from olden times,
Yeah,
but
she's
like
this
cartoons
better?
weren't around yet. Like that's still like
Well, Jeff, I think you're missing the bigger picture here.
TV wasn't around yet.
Cartoons weren't around yet, but like cartoons still don't dance in midair. Like you
Yeah.
have to have a screen.
right. So like you don't exactly fit in, and she like changes the look. Like she changes the
Yeah.
skin of the clock. It's like, dude,
Fit in
that's
now.
not what I'm talking about. You missed the assignment
Yeah, you
entirely.
You failed minutes.
All my notes about Miss Minutes are like too hot, for TV or what do they say, not safe for work and it's whatever. Because it's just, she's
NSFW.
like, oh, now take all your clothes off and get in the bathtub. Like she just took control of him. And like, I don't know, this got crazy. I don't want to jump all over. Should we start at the beginning?
Oh, I don't know, man. I don't know. We're already
I
deep
don't
in
know.
at this point.
I think we're
He
pretty
was like,
deep into Miss
"Bye.
Minutes right now.
See you later on your little dinghy, lady." Like I was I'm going to get my love story. I was like, here we go. It's
Right.
setting it up. This is where they fall in
Yep.
love. And it's an Ouroboros of them just continuously going through this in different, versions of them trying to make it work. Because that's what I think. I
Yep.
I don't think this is the first time they've, given in the book and been like, let's try.
Let's find out if this
And then
works.
when he gets to the end, he's like, this didn't work. And, we have to start all over again. But yeah, no, that took a hard left turn. He was like, see you later, girl. Ha ha ha.
Bye.
Bye.
Dumped her off in the lifeboat. And I love that she was just like, nah. And just like pulled out the oars and she's just like, "Ugh,
Well, now
I'm
you
coming.
can't trust him. So that romance is gone.
Yeah. Well, he seems to really like both of them a lot. Like he really seems into Ravonna for a while, but he's also doing that real like flirty, "Excusez-moi, Mademoiselle Minutes." Like it's just very like,
Yep.
He knows how to get ahead at that kind of business. You have to
Loki
say
said
the
it.
right things.
Exactly. Loki said it. He said he's a confidence trickster.
Yes.
mhm.
Yep. This is con man Victor Timely.
Well,
It's
I mean,
so
and if you
cool.
think about what are the timekeepers except one big con.
Yeah, it's a huge con.
The TVA version that we know was one big con. So like, I think that's so cool that they like dropped that in his character here. What I really loved about this, we talked a lot about the idea, this exact idea last week. We theorized a lot about like, what if we get to see what a He Who Remains would have looked like rising. And that's exactly what we're seeing. And not only that, but we talked about what if he's rising and is stopped. And like, that's the mission. You have to like, it's almost like the entire season is doing the battle that they had at the end of last season, which is exactly what we have. Loki and Sylvie are fighting over whether they should stop Victor
Sylvie,
Timely.
wild card, just coming in there. I'm gonna slit his throat just out of nowhere. Like I was
Right.
at the end, I was like, yes.
Well, but in the
Pump it up.
very end, she lets him go.
know.
Because she's become the person who is pruning a variant because of who their variant was. Right?
Because of something they have not done.
Yeah. He says, "I can make my own choices," and she pulls her knife away, and says, "Don't make me regret this."
Super cool looking sword.
Yeah, it's like emerald colored.
I was
Yeah.
so worried that Sylvie was going to prune her or vice versa. Like, or Ravonna was going to prune Sylvie, and that's why they were going to have to go find her in the after pruning world. I can't remember what it's called. I was like,
The
nobody
Void.
prune anybody right now, please.
Nobody
I
get
can't
pruned.
Handle it.
Ravonna had that giant
That's
like
what
minigun pruner.
She could have just gotten Sylvie, and I was like, don't do it. You're not looking behind you.
Yeah.
You
Oh
could-
my goodness.
oops. Like
She's a sneaky bitch.
Ravonna was holding that thing up like
She's like, Terminator.
Yeah, that's very
Yeah.
Terminator. It's very Sarah Connor moment. I think we said that in the trailer when we saw that moment. We were like, "Oh, that's some Sarah Connor stuff right there."
yep.
In her 1901 dress.
Yeah,
Shoulder puffs.
it was awesome.
It was really great.
Yeah, really beautiful episode, and like so much was just like in the little moments between the characters, just wandering around the 1800s, like talking and like doing like magic to thwart.
Loki teleporting that
Yeah.
guy
Yeah,
from
yeah,
inside into the cage outside and just being like, hey.
Did you notice what it said in the newspaper? It was like, ghost clock continues to haunt people in the city.
Yep.
Yep. Midway. Ghost clock continues to haunt Midway.
Yeah.
The little paperboy kid was like, ghost clock continues to haunt Midway. I went, what?
And then Victor Timely, his like con man self running from people, like it's just clearly he's done this before.
Oh, yeah.
And the way he like runs and he like yells out to one of the vendors to toss him something, like he has little connections in the community.
It was an apple.
Oh. Nice.
He got an apple and threw it at the guy.
That's awesome, given what he was eating in the last episode.
And it definitely knocked him out, as apples do.
No.
Yeah.
I'd probably have to stop for a second if somebody threw an apple as hard as they could at my face.
Yeah.
I think it hit him in the knee, but
Oh, that's worse.
yeah. Ah!
I am down and out for the count.
Well, I think we need to turn to a word from our sponsors. Jeff, you want to take the... So a lot of times we try to make our words from our sponsors very, like, fluid and talk, but I just really enjoyed their read. Jeff, give us bit of their read at the beginning here.
Yeah. It's, because this episode is all about the 1893 time span, so it's like, gentlemen across the nation, I have an urgent message for you. This episode is brought to you by Manscaped. The brand that took your balls to space is now launching them into the ultrasphere.
But the ultrasphere is such a Victor Timely thing.
I know. Use the temporal loom. No.
Nope.
Yeah.
It's not actually powered by the temporal loom. It's got key wireless charging on it.
Oh.
It has wireless charging?
Yeah, man. The
That's cool.
Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra is what we're talking about that we received from Manscaped, and that thing is amazing, actually.
I heard that it's trusted by more than 9 million men worldwide.
I would say I am now one of those 9 million.
I am. I went for it, guys. It says that it reduces cuts and nicks, so I went for it. I shaved, and it did a good job. No cuts or nicks.
I was so scared to try it on, my very sensitive areas.
It can be intimidating.
My hair and skin is like notorious for catching on any trimmer ever.
Yeah.
But like I just took the guardless version on my neck here, cleaned up my lines, didn't catch a bit. I was super sweaty and just cut it all up, and like you've never seen
Your
lines
lines
as clean.
are looking very clean and cut.
Very,
I
very
will
I've never
say.
seen lines as clean, especially on my face.
And they have the foil blade that like is completely for the smooth shave, just not having to use a razor at all. And it was great. It was really great. The thing that I didn't even know about the wireless charging. I feel bad because it wasn't in the read, and I didn't read the whole.
Yeah,
of the pamphlet.
it wasn't in the read, but it was in the box. It says it's got key wireless charging, and I've got those like all over my apartment.
Oh, that's
so
awesome.
I just plopped it down on the wireless charger by my bed and was like, oh look, there it goes.
Well, what blew me away for real? Like this is they have earned my respect because I have bought so many razors or like so many trimmers because I lost the proprietary cable that charges them, or my dog chewed up the proprietary cable, and they have a freaking USB-C charger, and
It's
that
so
like
great.
is freaking awesome. So if I, for whatever reason, lose their very nice braided charger, I can just use a USB-C, and like you said, a key wireless. That's even cooler.
The key wireless, like sitting it down and just like not even having to plug it in.
Yeah,
and
it's awesome.
It just charges. Is great. And it's got the fast charger in there as well. But like the main thing that people care about for these type of things is how nice it is to your skin, right? Because those skin safe blade heads are amazing. And then the fact that this thing is it's waterproof, like rated to up to a meter, I think, like fully submerged.
Nice.
Based on the material in the box.
If you want to cut your pubes in the hot tub, is that
shower?
Yeah.
Some
Not
people-
just Manscaped, not just for men either.
Yeah,
That's right.
True.
And it comes with a nice travel case.
It's got the travel lock button.
Yeah, it's got a travel lock so that you don't get in the airport and have an embarrassing vibrating sensation inside your bag, is what they say.
Yeah,
in the
which
read
I mean,
here.
for us, for me, that's important.
Yeah, that's it. That is important. Well, get 20% off plus free shipping with the code MCU at manscaped.com. That's 20% off plus free shipping with code MCU at manscaped.com. Your balls have been through enough. It's time to go ultra with Manscaped.
It's time to go ultra with Manscaped.
So, continuing on to talk about Loki some more. What about that ragtime intro?
Oh, I loved it so much.
I loved the intro so much.
I was like, give me that vaudeville. I was so into it. I wanted there to be a person like
playing it.
I wanted them to show me who was playing that and have them be like bowler hat, big mustache, handlebar, like, you know, the those like arm bands to keep their sleeves in. You know what I mean? Those bands, the vest, pinstripes, maybe not bowler, maybe the straw hat, like that flat straw hat.
Okay.
Okay.
I wanted to see that.
It was probably Natalie in that.
Oh, oh, okay. I can get behind that. That.
What do you guys think about how Majors is portraying his Kang variant? He's a little, this episode had some like cartoony parts. There was a lot of shaky cam running around.
Yeah, that's what someone a minute ago. The way he's like running from everybody was so, it felt like a old timey movie, like an old like
a silent
film style, like run around and dodge the bad guys kind of thing. Like it felt very much like that. The piano in
the background, yeah.
Yeah. And so I thought that was a lot of fun. And him like getting onto the Ferris wheel and then crawling off. It just reminded me so much of like, I don't know, Chaplin or something.
Yeah.
Really, really good.
I was gonna go for Benny Hill, but yeah, Chaplin seems accurate.
Closer to time appropriate, anyway.
Yeah, it's a little more timely.
Nice. So he's Victor Timely, and they see him and they say he's got the temporal aura we need. I'm wondering if that's true though, because like I guess I thought, based on the way they take Loki's temporal aura in the first episode of the first season, and then they talk about the temporal aura needed, I thought the temporal aura was going to be a specific Loki, or like, I'm sorry, a specific Kang variant. Like He Who Remains is specific.
Oh.
I guess I thought temporal auras had to be specific to the variant, not just to the class of variants or to that person. But according, I'm not sure if they know for sure, but like they seem to think just because he looks like He Who Remains, he's a Kang variant, he could open the loom or whatever. So I thought that was kind of weird. I don't know. I'm wondering if they'll get him to the TVA and then realize he is not the person they need. Like, and that this is just a person who Kang
pre-planned.
Yeah, pre-planned. Well, we all know this is part of Kang's plan, so what if he gets there and he's just a version of Kang that he dropped in the 1800s so that he could fix the loom when all of this went to shit?
Oh my God.
I need this one to fix it.
Yeah, so we saw he had in his notebook. He had in his notebook a thing to fix it. What do you call it? A multiplier.
It was the throughput multiplier.
Yeah,
what
throughput multiplier. So what if this Kang is like a Kang that the He Who Remains his version is just using?
Oh yeah, like this is the one that came up with, like this particular Kang came up with the throughput multiplier. So we're gonna need that. I need one that is gonna be able to weaponize Alioth. So I'm gonna need him to be over there
doing this thing.
Yeah.
I need my super smart versions of myself dropped along the timeline to complete my tasks. And they're going to have to face different versions of Kang, but they're all unwittingly working for He Who Remains.
I love it.
Yeah.
Like all that time, all that time, quote unquote. But like, as far as we see it, He Who Remains is just like sitting in the chair, dead and decomposing.
I love when Disney goes that far. Because that was gross. That was
so disgusting.
It was cool. I was like, oh no, she did not just send her there with that body. And then there it was. I was like, oh, we're going there, Disney. Okay. Happy Halloween, everybody. Boo.
I love that the Citadel is falling around.
Yeah.
Enjoy your time, She Who Remains. I know.
Sorry, no. The Citadel is falling around him, right? But when they went there at the end of the first season, there were parts of the Citadel that had broken and like were collapsed because various rooms or whatever were blocked off. So like this has happened before. This is just another in a long list of times that the Citadel has crumbled and had to be rebuilt, or crumbled and been like, we can't use that room anymore.
We've been saying that.
I had a weird feeling during the opening with Obi. It was the first time I didn't believe that what he was saying might not be true about everything falling apart. I'm like, what if that's not what happens?
What do you mean?
Like him saying like, "Oh, everything's gonna fall apart, everything's gonna explode and be over," and I'm like, I don't know, is it? I don't know. For some reason, I'm like, is that what's gonna happen? Or is that what you think's gonna happen, or is that what you want everybody to think's gonna happen? I don't know. It's starting to happen. The red strings are coming out.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like the temporal loom exploding and destroying everything, and
is that what's actually going to
all
happen?
of that has just been implanted in Obi as like he's been convinced, he's been led to believe like once that happens, that's when everything is blowing up, and the blast doors won't open. He said, "Oh my God, we're all gonna die." The blast doors won't open. The blast doors are closed because Kang variants are in there doing work right now. That's my red string theory. You can't see them. That's what's happening in there with all the like sounds and the and shaking rumbling. It's because Kangs are in there just like, oh yeah, no, we got to pull this one out. We got to put a new one in right here.
Interesting.
They've got the Kang crane.
They're from Brooklyn?
Yeah, exactly. He's got his hard hat on, Kang Industries.
Get that out of here.
Yeah, we got to get a whole new one in here. Come on. Oh, that's going to cost you right there. I've never seen one this backed up. What are these people doing? You can't just let me go.
No, man, we're just letting you go. We're not talking anymore. So we had that big ending where, Sylvie decides to not kill this Victor Timely, but does decide to send Ravonna, and she says, "It's power for you, a seat at the end of time." And then like kicks her through the door. Just so badass.
Yeah.
She's like, "This is Sparta, bitch."
Yeah.
But then she and Miss Minutes are back there.
Yes.
Like, she says, "I know a big secret about you. It's gonna make you real mad."
And what I love is
You're his girlfriend. No.
It seems that version. So that's. I'm trying to figure out who that version of Miss Minutes is, because it seems almost like Miss Minutes is existing outside of time. Like she's popping into all these places. So does that version of her, did she just come from, is that version of her the one that's been sitting at the end of time with Kang? Or is that the version of her that just came there with Ravonna?
She came out of the TemPad that Ravonna had.
She's on the TemPad that Ravonna had?
Yes. When Ravonna showed up with her, with the mega pruner, the pruny gun, if you will. When she showed up with that, she grabbed the TemPad and put it in her pocket.
Yeah.
Off the table.
Okay, and Ms. Minutes is on that TemPad only, I guess?
Because Victor had put her back in when she was like, I want to be your AI girlfriend.
Don't put baby in a corner. I'll kill your bunny rabbits.
Who do you guys think Ravonna is?
That is the question.
What if she is Miss Minutes?
Oh.
What if she is the body that she got?
What if Miss Minutes wants her body like Exorcist style?
That's also a possibility. But I really like the idea that like that is a future version, like a whatever Miss Minutes 2.0 who's been now put in a body, and like she's jealous of her future self.
Like you get to touch him and love him. Bah.
Yeah.
How about Ravonna is a Kang variant?
Sure.
Similar to how Sylvie is a Loki variant.
Oh, right. And they... Okay.
Gender swap.
But they all love themselves. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, we can get Game of Thrones with this.
Yeah.
That's fine. Yeah. It's not weird, right? I'm okay with Sylvie and Loki, so I'd be okay with that still.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not the story I twitched, but that's okay.
I really like the Loki description here, and it's just so true. Ravonna says he switches sides. It's a well-documented behavioral trait.
Yes.
She lied, though. She lied. Because the Miss Minutes was like, he tried to kill you, too, or whatever she said.
No,
and they're
she said he helped kill He Remains, which is true.
Is it, though? Because he
tried to stop her at the very end, but, like, he still got her there.
Gone.
They fought all the way to the end of time together. You know what I mean? Like,
That's fair.
she may not have made it. She wouldn't probably have made it there if he hadn't helped her get to the void, then get through the void, then get past Eliath, then get to the city. It's not till the very end that he switched sides, because that's a very well-known trait of his.
That's true.
So
Okay.
I don't know if
That's fair.
they know that he fought to save him at the end. I don't know.
Miss Minutes had left to go get Ravana at that
Yeah.
point.
Yeah. And
So
Ravonna
like, she
definitely
didn't
doesn't
see
know.
what went down. I think
They just know that he went there with Sylvie. He Who Remains came out dead. Now he's fighting to protect Victor Timely, but they're like, yeah, he just switches sides. It's fine. Can't be trusted.
It's true.
oh man.
It's going to take him a long time. Like Loki he shouldn't think that everyone should just trust him. Like you're not Infinity War Loki, so I don't really know you. Yeah, I know you, but not as much as I knew Infinity War Loki.
Yeah, I don't know you like
And
that.
even him, I know not to trust.
I don't know.
Yeah.
At this point,
But I
we're
don't
starting to
think
get to the
I'm
point
mad
where we've had definitely more screen time with this Loki now.
Is it?
So.
Yeah.
Oh,
Ooh, yeah.
oh.
Why are you
Oh.
uncomfortable with that?
I don't know.
Because the first two appearances of Loki are the same. So then you've got like even his appearance in Endgame is this Loki, not the other Loki, you know? So
Yeah.
we've
true.
definitely gotten more movies with this, more movies and time on the screen with this Loki. I think it's cool.
I don't know why that makes me sad.
I don't know either. It's funny though.
Do you guys feel it?
I feel your sadness radiating off
Yeah.
of you. I don't know why.
I don't know. I'm not sad about it.
Yeah, no, I think it's great. Like, because this Loki is at least moderately heroic, and
You'll feel
I
it when
love
he
that.
meets up with Thor again.
oh god, no, I'm gonna feel such joy when they meet up.
Yeah, but this Loki doesn't know what they went through. And that, would this Loki...
They spent thousands of years together as brothers.
I
Like
know.
the fact that he missed the
We
last
only
couple years
Focused on the last 8
yeah.
or something.
And he still saw it. He still like witnessed it in the TVA or whatever.
So much family drama in the last 8 years on Asgard.
Yeah, for sure.
Or it's not a place anymore. It's
Oh my god,
It's a people.
It's a people. I
it's-
couldn't remember.
you can't reduce an entire culture to a diorama. They don't even know. Nobody even knows who Balder is.
Ken was like, "Is that important? Who's that? Is that important?" I was like, "You don't know who Balder is?" He's
Fuck
like,
you
"No."
mean? Who is that? That's Balder. He's
didn't know.
basically Jesus.
He didn't know.
He's Norse Jesus. All right, we'll cover that on the next LNL.
Okay.
I've been thinking
December.
about like what are we gonna do for November?
Oh,
Yeah,
that's fine.
we'll talk about Balder.
Well, we got a little sense of the fact that even this version of Kang, this Victor Timely, doesn't like partners.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
Miss Minutes picked up on that, and Ravonna
Yeah.
didn't.
Well, Miss Minutes already knows that about him. She's known probably multiple versions of Kang, and
She's like, "Did you hear her? She said she wanted to be your partner. Throw that bitch in the ocean." She was just.
She said partnership. You know that's a no word.
you had to do it.
Yep.
You brought this on yourself, Ravana.
hmm
Now look at you, all wet.
I like sassy Glenn Close Miss Minutes.
Yeah.
Rebecca De Mornay.
Oh, Court Obisa, can we talk about Miss Minutes programming herself?
Oh
That
yeah,
was-
she went all AI.
Well, like, she was telling Victor, like, you programmed me to play chess and talk, but then you allowed me to start doing my own programming, and
Yeah.
I was able to have my own wants and thoughts. Like, that's insane.
The amount of horrible comments that we cannot say on this podcast are all that keeps flooding into my head when you say that. She's like, I programmed myself to beep, 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 and then beep, 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 beep. You know what I mean? Like, she was like,
Yep.
I want wants and needs. Like, I didn't expect it to go that way.
A
When I
cartoon
first saw
clock
Miss
has
Minutes.
needs.
I'm an
But
AI
I get
with
it.
needs.
I get it. And she's in love with him.
Yeah.
I get it.
That's
It's-
funny. My mind didn't go there at all, but
Right away. She was like, I got wants and needs. She's not like, I want you to do the dishes or I want you to fucking watch TV with me.
there's definitely something there. She wants a body for some reason
Yeah.
to be his woman.
Mhm.
Happiness.
And she put her face over the mannequin's face.
Yeah.
Like,
It was Creeposaurus.
it-
I
right?
loved
She,
what
like,
they were doing.
Stretched out over it, and the eyes were like, gah, gah, gah,
Oh, yeah.
gah, gah, and like screwing up, and like she couldn't hold it.
I said it earlier, single clock female.
single clock female.
For sure. Well, we got some feedback. Y'all want me to read through these and see what they spawn us to talk about?
What did you got?
We got Waterfall Angel says, I want to see the TVA's closet with all the time correct clothing they must have and currency of every country. Yes, I was thinking the same thing. When he had to have money, I was like, oh, if he has to have money, I've seen this time agent thing before. They've got to have a closet full of like every clothes and currency and everything. I love that.
Costume room.
Yeah.
Of the decades, and you could wear anything you want. Oh. And Ravonna chose all brown. Girl.
Is that your dream?
Yes. But see, I couldn't do it because I'd be like the peacock. I'd be walking in there with like bright orange.
Look
I'm like, what was I supposed to not wear? This satin lime green dress? Are you out of your mind?
I just have that dream of like having enough currency to get by, you know?
Oh, the money.
Right.
Like any currency of any era,
decade,
any
it doesn't
type.
matter.
Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah,
Just like
you have enough to
not have to struggle. Yeah, that'd be nice.
To not have to struggle. That sounds great.
Be so good.
I'm such a material girl in a material world. I'm like, I need the clothes.
Yeah, but if you have the currency, you can get any clothes you want.
I know. I don't think about things like that. That's why I'm an idiot. I remember when I was a kid and Baskin and Robbins got my birthday cake wrong. And it was a Lion King cake and they did not put Lion King on there. And I went back there with my mom. I'm like 9. And they were like, do you want the cake or do you just want the Lion King toys? I was like, hell yeah, I want the Lion King toys. I don't want the cake. And my mom was like, you idiot. You idiot. And we walked out of there. She's like, you could have had a free cake. I was like, we had cake yesterday. I don't know. I just wanted the toys. So I'm a material girl in a material world and I make wrong choices.
All right. Waterfall Angel also says, Red String Theory. Ravonna is AI, possibly specifically the same AI as Miss Minutes, hence why Miss Minutes was so jealous and angry she didn't get a body, and why they both seem to have feelings for Kang, and the big secret Miss Minutes knows about Ravonna. Hey, I came to the same conclusion. There you go. Nice,
maybe that's why that thing is at the TVA when you walk in. It's like, are you actually a robot?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Because like Renslayer is one.
Oh, man.
Yeah, we never saw Renslayer go through it.
No, yeah. If they capture Ravonna and bring her there to like get it, process her, and then she dies.
She's a Terminator. Oh,
yeah.
That's why she had the gun like that.
Yes.
Red String.
It's all good. Yeah, I like it.
Ravonna's
I like that Red
Terminator.
String.
Ravonna the Terminator.
Ravonna is the Terminator. Just like it's going to do a crossover. It's going to happen.
Oh, I need somebody to do that fan art. Like, draw that, please.
Yeah, with her, like, a big metal arm or whatever.
Yeah.
Ravonna with
the red eye. Yes.
Yes. Like, half her face peeled off and, like, red eye.
Oh, that would be so freaking cool.
It is August 3rd.
The Keninator says, the episode had the twists the Bachelor franchise has been looking for years. #, love triangle.
Oh, yeah.
Have y'all ever like
angle.
so there's got into The Bachelor for a couple years, and it's funny.
Really?
A little bit. It's funny. The show is funny if you're watching it as like a comedy. Like sometimes the editors make choices that I think are very, very funny, and like they're clearly over the top being silly with it. But I digress. One of the things that so people like do betting pools on who's gonna win. Like there's like it's a whole thing. It's similar to what we do with our fantasy game. By the way, fantasyheroesgame.com. It's open for registration right now. But similar to that, people do like their own fantasy teams for The Bachelor to see if they can guess who's going to make it the furthest.
Up.
Yeah, they do. But what's really funny is the apparently whoever they give the first impression rose to on the first night is like a really high probability that they're going to win. Like it's just like a ridiculously like large probability. Like they win almost every season. And it's just kind of this like funny thing that like, yeah, it's not every season, but it's
then like people probably lose
some
money when it's not that guy. And they're like, no.
Yeah. People lose that money.
Oh my God.
I don't know
crazy.
if people actually gamble on it. I'm sure somebody does.
No, of course they do. I bet it's a thing in Vegas. Like they bet on everything.
Ooh, that'd be tough though. Maybe. Because, like, a lot of times things leak, too. But I bet there are friend groups that do it for sure. Let's see. Waterfall Angels again says, possibly nothing, but Timely said the purpose of his loom was to create power. So is the temporal loom at the TVA also creating power? And if so, for what? Just the TVA or something else?
Well, they said it was powering the TVA.
Did they?
Yeah. Well, that's what Ouroboros said.
Okay.
But we can't trust that because
I don't
we
know
don't
if I trust him anymore. And Sylvie's like, we don't care about the TVA, Loki. And he's like, yeah, we do. And she's like, but why? He's like, because we do. Because without them, one person told me this, and I didn't fact check them at all. But
I didn't Google it
fall
at all.
apart. And I'm just going to go with it because he's my buddy and he likes jet skis. I don't know.
I haven't Googled anything.
They didn't look into
I
it
don't
at
know
all.
that you can.
He heard one thing and he's like, that's what it is.
That's
I'm
clearly
like,
the facts right there.
God.
But also, speaking about the loom that he created there on Earth, like in whatever, 1893 or whatever,
yeah,
I got the sense that one wasn't real.
Well,
like,
what was that guy? Chops.
Right. He bought it, and then he starts chasing him because he, like, tricked him.
Oh,
and then he's like, you're a confidence man.
Prototype.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
And also the leg extenders that he sold that one guy weren't real. They, like, didn't work. And he's like, oh, they just need some adjustments. I'll be by next week.
It's a prototype.
I love his voice as Victor Timely. It's so much fun. So
It's
silly.
like, interesting to see how many different accents and things he's going to pull out and how tolerable they're all going to be. This one was a little... I miss the He Who Remains energy. I really do. And I like this guy. And I thought maybe he was going to get it when he kind of pushed her away on the boat. Like we were going to see him start to turn more into a He Who Remains kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, see, I think that might be the thing. I think we are supposed to expect that, but then that's not what's really happening. Like that, I think it's very possible this Victor Timely is not the version that turns into He Remains.
And this is number 927.
Yeah.
Yeah. Something like that.
Well, I love that as he got to his lab in Wisconsin, when there was nobody else around, he seemed to not have the stutter and stammer as much. Like he didn't have to keep that appearance on.
It's all an act, baby.
Yeah. I think he's a very dedicated confidence trickster. And the way that he presents himself as being like, oh, no, it's just it's a prototype. And like, his social mannerisms and like playing dumb or whatever, like it just seems like he's putting that on, like all of it, everything about him is a front.
Yeah, it's interesting. I couldn't tell, but I can definitely see it. It's either that or some of the stuff felt a little false, but I don't know if it's supposed to feel false. He's a confidence man, so maybe it's all supposed to feel false.
Well, I feel like that same energy that He Who Remains had, like you can see bits of that in there, like little tidbits, and that I think that's just a credit to Majors as an actor, like that he's able to add that teensy little bit, just like hint of He Who Remains.
Well, it's like that idea of like, what is your core personality? If you were born at a different time in a different place, what is your core personality? And like, He Who Remains was a confidence man, and He Who Remains couldn't deal with partnerships. That's why he like couldn't work with any of his variants. So like, I think it's really interesting to see those two threads being woven into both
and
of them.
apples. Can't forget the apples.
Threads
Always
and apples. All right, Data948 says, this show seems so perfectly planned and paced out. It's so reassuring to be 3 episodes in and just know it's going to deliver.
Right?
I feel the same way. I hope we're right.
Oh my God, don't do that. Don't you dare do that.
No, yeah, I'm doing the opposite. I'm like, I'm hedging so that we're not going to like say it's going to be amazing. And that's the jinx, I'm unjinxing us.
I could double jinx on that from... we heard somebody told me that the next episode is going to be my favorite.
Ooh.
Oh no. Oh no.
Boy, oh boy, oh, Charlie in trouble. Let's see what's going to happen.
Scared.
It is Halloween week, so I wonder what'll happen there.
And my birthday.
And your birthday? Oh, nice.
Tuesday. I'm gonna be
so great. Awesome. Cordo B says, when Victor called Loki a wizard. That was pretty great.
He's not a wizard. He's
I know
a sorcerer.
he said it. The fantastic Loki. I love that so much.
He'll be here all week.
Yeah.
He's
great.
not.
Mobius is the perfect yes man. Like yes and what
Yeah.
you learn in theater, like whatever you're with, like, hey.
He's that improv guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Whose
I loved
line
it.
is it anyway?
Last thing we got here, Waterfall Angel says, just some facts. When Ravana goes to 1868, it says sacred timeline.
Yep.
And then when Loki and Mobius go to 1893, it says branch timeline.
Yep.
Fair to say them giving Victor the book caused a branch. Ooh.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, it did.
Interesting.
I like that.
I
like that a lot.
Man, that makes me think his plan, He Who Remains' his plan, involves like setting up branches just to bake and boil and produce
Absolutely.
another version of himself.
Yeah.
So he can get back in control.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we need one to be the crane operator for the temporal loom, right? So he needs a version of himself to be a crane operator.
I wonder how many Kangs are going to be like on the Avengers side when we get to the Avengers versus Kang Dynasty.
Give
Right?
me Iron
Yeah.
Lad. I need it.
But
It'd be
how
rad.
many
It
more?
would be rad. I don't know. I
Iron
feel like
Rad.
it's likely that we'll have like at least one really solid Kang we know well at that point. That like maybe we'll meet him in this show and he'll become like a fixture of like a Kang fighting Kangs.
We said it for Ant-Man. Like, yeah, they have to go get him and he has to be a part of the team, but then we don't trust him because we know he's going to double cross us at the end. But still, he's going to help us get there.
Yeah.
And Scott's going to be like, I trusted you.
Oh man. Well, I am freaking pumped about where this is going. Any other red string theories?
I have so many.
Yeah.
No, I've been just as they come.
Oh yeah.
Just
They're coming out for sure.
I'm just vomiting all of them.
I feel like I had a solid 2, so I'm sold.
Me too. Oh man. Well, I am pumped. Let's get. I just can't wait to watch the next episode. We were talking today about when we cover Echo and it drops all at once. As much as I love doing them week to week, I'm kind of excited for the being able to cast and then go. I'm gonna go watch more like we used to with
We'll
the
have to
Defender
pick
stuff.
like how many episodes did they say it was going to be?
We don't know for sure. I think it's 6 though. I think.
If they do 6, we could pick like a Sunday
Yeah,
or
we probably
something
could.
and really
Probably
get
could.
it done like we used to.
Yeah, it could be a lot of fun. All right, guys. Well, just a reminder, I mentioned it earlier, but fantasyheroesgame.com, they're going to be running the Fantasy Heroes until the end of October, and that would be rad if you want to go register for that. So check that out.
Ooh.
Otherwise, we'll be back next week with more Loki. Freaking pumped.
I have it's not a red string theory,
Oh, okay, go for it.
but it's a reference. There ain't no strings on me.
Ah.
Ooh.
Oh.
Oh, man, what if Miss Minutes was Ultron originally?
Oh.
Or Jocasta.
Or
I saw that
what
in the
if
chat.
Ultron became a Miss Minutes?
Yeah, exactly.
Like that, it
Yeah.
evolved.
That's the AI.
They evolve.
He took Tony's Jarvis AI or the Jocasta or Friday.
It was like, all I
Mhm.
have to be is a servant. Nobody's the sex. Me. I'm just going to listen and do everything you say. Oh, my God.
Oh, she's going to be based on Friday.
I feel like we are just heading towards another season that ends with, like, it's that illusion of choice thing, where it's
Yeah.
like, we thought we saw the guy at the end of time doing their thing, and then it's like, no, he's still orchestrating everything. You think you're fighting him, but he's still just like pulling all the strings.
Yeah, that's what I want,
Yeah.
to be honest.
The
Just
version
freaking
of
out.
He Who Remains that got stabbed was cultivated on a branch timeline specifically to sit there and get stabbed.
I don't know if
That's
I like
my
that.
red string theory.
I think
I
they're
like it as a red
softening-
string theory.
They're softening Loki up too much to like not be like somebody made a comment at Loki that he should have split heads when he was in the circus thing and he was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry I bumped into you." I'm like, "Don't soften him up. We're going to need Loki at 110% when it's time to break heads."
When it's time to slaughter
Yeah.
all of the Kangs that were in that Coliseum.
Put heads to bed.
Yeah.
All right. Well, my friends, we will be back soon on the Marvel Cinematic Universe podcast. Peace.
Until next time, true believers.
Bye.
Oh, forgive me. Until next time, true believers.
Bye.
Thank you for joining us for the Marvel Cinematic Universe podcast. And a special thanks to all of our subscribers at patreon.com/MCUcast. You make this show possible. And a huge shout out to both, that's right, there's two of them now, Illuminati tier patrons, Walter Kreisky III and Lieutenant Bongo. Thank you guys. If you want to find all of our fine Stranded Panda podcasts, go to strandedpanda.com. And for a video version, check out youtube.com/strandedpanda. And if you want to take part in our live streams, go to twitch.tv/strandedpandatv.